The trial against 5 men accused of killing football star Senzo Meyiwa once again was very explosive today. Meyiwa's friend, Tumelo Madlala, testified for a third day, and he identified accused number 2 as one of the intruders on the night that Meyiwa was killed in 2014. Our reporter Silindelo Masikane was in court today. She joins us now. Sli, another very dramatic day, and this was something that was started the day before. The defense pushed so hard against this information coming out. But today, Madlala points to accused number 2. Just take us to that moment in court today.
So you would remember yesterday we ended off with proceedings with the defense objecting to the line of questioning which the state said it had laid a basis for. We had begun with sketch analysis, facial recognition sketches that were made by those in the house. One in particular that was shown was of who we believe to be the first intruder, or who those in the house say is the first intruder, who they described as having dreadlocks, was short in stature, had big eyes, and that the second intruder was a little bit taller, according to Tumelo Madlala. So when we resumed this morning, the defense then said, you know what, we will allow the state to continue with this line of questioning. And we were all then, of course, looking at the accused in the dock, who had their eyes really quite set on Tumelo to see exactly who he was going to point out. And he then pointed to accused number 2, who out of the 5 men in the dock is the only one without a previous conviction, and of course we understand is due to apply for bail next week, Thursday. Let's take a listen to that moment.
Mr. Madlala, if you can perhaps state or inform the court who is this person that made you uncomfortable.
Yes, this man with the blue t-shirt or green. He's the one that was held by Senzo. Sorry? He's the one who had the beard that was cut or shaved.
All right, so that really was quite a pivotal moment. But I want to also point to another important moment. Perhaps you can explain why this was crucial. We know that Senzo Meyiwa was dating Kelly Khumalo. He was a married man, but he was dating the singer Kelly Khumalo. But today he was asked, or today Madlala, his friend, was asked whether Senzo was also sleeping with Kelly Khumalo's sister Zandi. So explain to us how this line of questioning came about. What was the context and why was it raised?
So that line of questioning came from the defense. Cross-examination is officially underway for Tumelo Madlala, and Titi Tobane is up first for accused 1 to 4. He began to just probe first the relationship, just how close Tumelo Madlala really was to Senzo Meyiwa, and whether he was privy to some personal information in terms of life insurance policies that apparently Senzo had taken out, and Kelly Khumalo is one of the beneficiaries. That was just one of the questions. Another was around the fact that Tobane claims that Meyiwa was actually having sexual relations with another Khumalo, and that is Zandi Khumalo, Kelly Khumalo's sister in this particular instance. Let's take a listen to what Madlala said around what he knows about that.
That witness will come and testify that at the end, Senzo ended up having a relationship with Zandi as well. He had sexual relationship with Zandi because Kelly has been away for a long time.
Kwaloyo fakazi ke uzoza azotshela inkantolo ke ukuthi egcineni ke kwase kwenzeka ke ukuthi uSenzo aseqhubeka esethandana ke naye ke uZandi, futhi ke kwase elala kanye naye ke uZandi ngenxa yokuthi ke uKelly ebengekho isikhathi eside.
Angeke ngakuphika lokho, angeke ngakuvuma because ngiyamazi uSenzo ubewathanda amantombazana.
I would never deny that. I would never admit to that because I know that Senzo loved women.
All right. So Senzo loved women is what this loyal friend was prepared to say. But cross-examination, which started today, continued through the afternoon, was quite tough on Tumelo Madlala. At one point, Titi Tubane got quite angry with him, told him, "Can you behave?" The judge intervened at this point. I wonder if you can take us through that moment, but also the important points, perhaps, that cross-examination has made or tried to make in discrediting this witness.
Yeah, that was quite a heated moment that you're referring to, where it seems as though what Tubane is trying to show the court, or trying to paint a picture of Tumelo Madlala being, one, an evasive witness, but two, also trying to discredit the testimony and evidence that's being brought forward by him. He's already raised and flagged a number of contradictions in terms of what he's written in several statements, we understand, as well as testimony that he's given in court. The line of questioning in which the heated exchange happened was the fact that Tumelo Madlala then admitted in court that he had been paid by 1010 Films, which produced the Netflix documentary around Meyiwa's death, saying that it seems what Tubane, I think, is trying to show the court, that Tumelo Madlala will do anything for money and could say anything for money, and even posing it to him that in fact he was paid to come to court and testify. Let's take a listen.
Can you behave? I'm asking you a question, you're interrupting me. Listen, very careful. Answer through the interpreter. Is it clear?
Don't shout at me. Don't shout at me. Never do that. Don't shout at me.
Mr. Tubane, what are you starting now?
Don't shout at me. Don't do this.
We strongly object to that.
Your Lordship, the witness is interrupting while I'm asking question, and it's not a good behavior, because there's an interpreter who must interpret.
Yesterday you interrupted me as I was talking. I never shouted at you. He's saying, don't shout at me. Can we adhere to that?
Your Lordship.
He is not right to interrupt as you are talking, but you cannot shout at him.
Let me proceed. I hear what the court says.
Yeah.
Sir?
Sir.
Don't interrupt when I ask questions. You must wait for the interpreter to interpret back to you.
Okay, so, and you mustn't shout at me.
I have to say, Slee, I thought the judge handled that really, really well, because it was very tense. Talk to me about the reappearance of Advocate Maleselo Tefu, who fired himself a while ago. There was some presence today. Just talk us through what happened.
A surprise visitor to the North Gauteng High Court this morning. We were all really shocked and surprised to see him. We all did double takes. We all took out our phones because we didn't really understand if we were actually seeing the man himself back inside this courtroom. Of course, you know, like you've said, that he quit the case a couple of weeks ago, withdrew from the matter, and it was quite confusing as to what he's doing there. And counsel then had a bit of a caucus with him. He was, from what I understand, demanding to have a meeting in chambers with counsel as well as the judge before proceedings began. We started late at around 10:30 because the court was trying to deal and establish exactly what Tifo's intentions were. It seems that counsel refused to go into a meeting with him in the judge's chambers without understanding what the basis was for it. Then Tifo then demanded that he was going to go see the judge himself, and that court proceedings just simply would not resume without this meeting taking place. We then saw members of the TRT unit moving towards the judge's chambers, and I can't even tell you when Tifo left, Sally, because as quick as he appeared, he quickly disappeared, just in the same. So it seems that he was escorted out of court and his belongings then brought to him while proceedings then continued. But we do know that tomorrow, Sally, Tifo is expected to be back in the courts, and that is because the LPC has taken him to court to have him struck off the roll, disbarred, because of numerous complaints against him. So we know that that judgment is due tomorrow. Whether this appearance has anything to do with it, I don't know.
Yeah, I suppose safe to say that the appearance of Advocate Maliselo Tefo and him being escorted away did not have any material impact on the Senzo Meyiwa trial today. What happens tomorrow? Where have we left off at the end of today? What's going to pick up tomorrow?
Yeah, certainly no material effects on that. He was dealt with quite quickly. The court simply just refused to engage him because of the fact that he is not a party in these proceedings. But tomorrow we pick up once more with cross-examination, Sally, where Tumelo Madlala will be back in the witness box. Titi Tobane will continue with his cross-examination. And of course, we still have Advocate Zandile Mshololo for accused number 5, who we know can be quite tough in her line of questioning. So whether she will begin with that line of questioning, we don't know. But tomorrow is the last sitting for September, Sally. We will only resume with the trial in November after tomorrow's sitting.